In this video, we're going to talk about the coronavirus and pandemics. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76, Science and Technology. First of all, please like the video, please share it, please subscribe to my channel. So in this video, we're going to have a short discussion on the coronavirus and pandemics. So, this definitely falls under the umbrella that I established for this channel. Biology is, one of the sciences which falls under the umbrella of STEM. And I actually wrote a blog post on my blogging platform, the Big Words blog site, on the STEMs and the basic sciences and basic research. And I'm going to leave that blog post in the description box below in case you want to see how all the STEMs fit together and what the differences are and what the commonalities are. But right now, something that's being discussed quite a bit in the news and in the world is the coronavirus. So what's interesting is yesterday, I live in the DMV, or the Metro Washington D.C. area, and I take the Metro in most mornings, or a Metro bus or some combination of the bus and the train. And so yesterday I got on the train, and there was a gentleman there with one of the masks on, one of those masks that you see in a research lab, or that you see, I guess, surgeons wearing, and one of those masks that you see often in Asia, coincidentally in countries like China, because I guess there's so much particulate and pollution floating around in the air. So this gentleman got on the Metro and had this mask on, and when I saw him, I was thinking, wow, well, maybe I should get one of those for myself, because who knows if the coronavirus is going to come here, regardless of the reassuring things President Trump said a couple of days ago. So not only that, but also a coworker, a very close coworker, and someone I joke around with quite a bit at work. He's been sending out articles daily on the coronavirus and how it's going to spread, and how we can't stop it from spreading, and those kinds of things. So people are paying attention to it. I've been paying attention to it in kind of in a peripheral way. And yesterday, as I was taking a coffee break at Starbucks, at the Starbucks across from my job, I was reading the Washington Post to keep up on current events and also to look for investing ideas in the business section. And it was this past Sunday's edition, and there was, boom, an article on the coronavirus. So I said, oh, I have the Science Channel going now, so let me go ahead and shoot a video on the coronavirus. So I read the article. I'm going to talk about that shortly. But before I say that, I'm gonna reiterate this later on. A key aspect or pillar to being involved in the sciences and in the STEMs is reading. Reading is critical, it's crucial, and it is a must for anyone who wants to get into the sciences, or who wants to get into one of the medical fields, or something like that. So read, and you can, if you're an adult watching this and a young person who wants to get involved in the STEMs, pass that message on. Read. Be curious, ask questions, and continue to seek new knowledge. And in this instance, it's particularly important based upon the messages we're being hit with from the media, some of which may be designed to cause panic, which I'll talk about towards the end of this video. So reading is critical for the sciences. So before I get into the Washington Post article that I read yesterday, this is a science channel, so let's have a quick discussion of some biology and viruses. So scientifically, I always found viruses to be interesting, even as a youngster. And it wasn't until I got to the undergraduate level in one of my early biology classes that I learned that viruses are not actually living things. They don't eat, they don't generate wastes, or should I say, in this instance, metabolic wastes, and they can't reproduce on their own. So what does that mean? That means that so a viral particle. This is in an animal cell model here, and our bodies are made up of billions of these. And a viral particle is very, very tiny in scale compared to this animal cell. And so the viral particle, what it is it contains its own DNA. And what that viral particle does is it infiltrates this animal cell here, or it could be a bacterial cell as well, I think, in some instances. But it infiltrates this cell and it incorporates its own DNA into that cell, and it basically takes over the cell's machinery and then starts to replicate its own DNA. And it can incorporate its DNA into the cell's DNA to take over or hijack specific functions of the cell, such as in the case with HIV, where I think it inactivates an aspect of the immune system on the T cells, I believe. And in some instances, there's another pathway it could take where it can actually just create more viral particles and then destroy the host cell. That's called the lytic, I believe that's a lytic cycle or a lytic phase. So again, viruses, they insert their own DNA into the host cell, take over that cellular machinery to do whatever the virus wants it to do, or it can take over the machinery to create more viral particles. So once again, an important key to practicing science, whichever part of it you get into, is reading and comprehending and understanding new ideas and thinking and putting ideas together to create new ideas. That's very, very critical to science. And so the article, this is the article that I was referring to from the Washington Post. This is dated on Sunday, February 23rd, 2020, and I will, if I can find the link online, I'm going to leave it in the description box below, and it's entitled, "For Virus, a Closing Window of Containment." And this article is written by Carolyn Y. Johnson, Lena H. Sun, William Wan, and Joel Achenbach. I think I pronounced that correctly. And so the article basically discussed that we may not be able to stop the virus from spreading, and also that the virus is difficult to see symptom-wise. And if there are symptoms, they're typically going to be flu-like symptoms. One of my buddies actually asked yesterday in our 5-man text group about concern for the virus, and it made me think back to my father and the avian flu back around the turn of the century. My father kind of got caught up in the hysteria of the avian flu and really, really stockpiled water and supplies, which was smart. So he had a whole store of supplies in his house. But according to the article, the virus is not likely to be lethal on a large scale. There were some people who died in Italy, but those people were more senior, and they had already had some health issues. I did read that. And in the article, what's also interesting is that they actually defined, or they addressed what a pandemic is, because that word's being thrown around right now. And so in terms of the definition of a pandemic, let's go to Webster. And the definition of a pandemic is occurring over a wide geographic area and affecting an exceptionally high proportion of the population. An example would be malaria years ago. But so a pandemic, it basically refers to the spread of the contagion, in this case the coronavirus, which I think they also refer to as COVID-9. So it's referring to the ability of the thing to spread over a geographic area and amongst people, but it doesn't necessarily speak to how lethal the particular contagion will be. I think when people hear pandemic, you think about if you saw it, you could start to think about the movie Outbreak, starring Dustin Hoffman with Kevin Spacey and Rene Russo and Morgan Freeman, where this really, really nasty virus comes from Asia and is spreading across the country, killing everything in its path. That's the spreading aspect is what pandemic refers to, but not necessarily the actual danger of the contagion. So that's important as you're listening to the news and the media, because these words, if people don't understand them, they can cause a mass hysteria and they can cause a lot of worry. So overall for this thing right now, I have low concern, and in the federal government where I work, there's a branch called the Public Health Service, and until I see those people being deployed, for example, to different parts of the country and around the world, I'm not gonna worry so much about it. And I actually asked a colleague about it, and this person wasn't very concerned about the virus at this point. If I hear that it mutates and it's turning into something more nasty, then I will worry. But as for now, I'm not going to worry about it, the coronavirus, so much. So I think the concern is low. Let me know if you have any comments or questions in the comment section below. Thank you for watching this video. Please like it. Please share it. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you're interested in the STEMs, remember to read. And always remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.